everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be working on installing the Compushift transmission controller to my AW4 automatic. I still have to hook up a couple of sensors, a TPS, a boost reference, and I need to wire up the tachometer signal, which I know where to get the tachometer signal from. So I'm just going to jump right into it and get to work. The first thing I'm mounting is this boost reference sensor. And I'd already drilled and tapped the intake with this barb fitting. And at first I thought I was going to have to drill into the plate, but I actually just realized I think these two holes here line up perfectly with the sensor. So all I have to do is get two fasteners, secure this to here, and get a piece of tubing to go from here to the intake, and I'll be done. So let's get to it. Now that we have the map sensor installed, I was calling it a boost reference before, I'm sorry, it's a map sensor. I now need to figure out how I'm going to mount this TPS. And my current thought process is I'm going to remove the electronic vacuum pump because I don't need it because I now have Hydro Boost. And there's actually a vacuum reservoir underneath there. I'm thinking about mounting the TPS there and rounding it here. And I also have a bracket. And here's the bracket I have for it. It's actually a really nice bracket. I think what I'm going to end up doing is just installing the bracket right there like that. Or something like that. I need to kind of figure out where I'm going to attach it, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Because I think I might have to bend it slightly, but I could just bend it that way to solve it. So yeah, I'm going to work on removing the old electronic brake booster. I've actually got to unwire it because I actually wired it up into everything. And yeah, let's see if we can't get this TPS sensor installed. Okay, I just realized this cable is a pull, so it's expecting a pull, and where I was going to mount it was pushing it. So I think now the thought process is I'm going to mount this here and connect it to this other arm, which is going to work perfectly. And actually, probably just going to reuse that one hole and call it good. I know I can, actually, you know what? I can do it like that and definitely use one hole. Yes! Yep, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to enlarge one of these holes, bolt it to here, and we're done. Okay, I think I'm done with everything up here. The bracket's been installed. I have it hooked to the lever. It has really good movement. And what's nice is I can really adjust this TPS if I need to. But I'm really happy with everything right now. And it looks very clean. And I don't think I'm going to have an interference issue with anything. So let's now move on to putting the alternator back together so we can get a tach signal. Okay, so we're going to reattach a wire to one of these poles on the alternator, and then we're going to run it inside the cab. Once that's done, we're going to be moving everything we're doing to inside the Wrangler. Okay guys, so there's a correct way of doing this, and that would be to disconnect the shifter, pull out the center console, and install this tunnel cover from Genrite. Then I would measure where the cable for the shifter goes through, drill a hole there, put in a grommet, and as I connect up the TCU, I would drill holes for the wiring for that. Am I going to do that? No. I just want to see if I can get the transmission controller to work. So, the current thought process is I'm actually not going to be running a radio. I also have this plate that's going to go there where the radio was, and it's going to hold additional gauges for me. Specifically, my EGT gauge, or the pyrometer, and I think my transmission temperature, and I think I have one other gauge I'm going to hook in here. I can't remember. I'm going to have a ton of gauges on this thing. But because I'm not going to be using a stereo has a key switch on and a 12 volt hot that's already fused into the wiring loom. So I am going to check that real quick with a multimeter. And once I verify that those still work, that's how I'm going to wire up the transmission controller and the Dakota digital box to convert the alternator signal to a tachometer. So let's get to work. Compushift gets beyond an A+ for this. I went in here to set up everything, and I went to vehicle setup. The first thing I noticed, the transmission type, this is, the AW4 is basically a Toyota A340. They're made by the same company, just with a slightly different wiring harness. But the engine type was already set to low speed diesel. My final drive ratio was correct. At the time when I bought this, the tire diameter was correct. Now I need to set the transfer case ratio, that's fine. They've set the vehicle weight, which I probably should go get this thing weighed because I have no idea how much it weighs. But when I went to shift setup, maximum engine RPM, 2900 RPM, and everything was already set up. That's incredible. So I'm going to turn it off. I'm going to plug in the wiring harness to the map sensor, the TPS sensor, and into the transmission, and I'm going to go ahead and calibrate the TPS. Okay, now I'm going to configure the TPS. To do that, you go under Engine Setup, TPS Calibration. It says Ready. Go Start. You click Complete. %. Throttle position. Ooh, that's cool. Okay, awesome. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is it doesn't seem like it knows what gear I'm in. Okay, I'm going to open the door and see if it at least is seeing the RPM correctly. Now, I could have a problem with the shifter selector sensor on the AW4. I never tested it. Let's turn this on. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to do today. It looks like the neutral safety switch on the side of my AW4 is faulty, so I'm going to have to order a new one and wait for it to get here. I think because of that, I'm not going to try to do anything else today. I don't want to button up any of my wiring until I know everything works. So leave a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. If you didn't, you know what to do. And hey, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. And if you have, as always, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video very soon. Goodbye.